Welcome back to episode 62 of Working Towards Our Purpose. Thank you for being here. In today's episode, we are going to talk about how to figure out what you want and what you desire. One thing that can help. So before we get into today's episode, we are going to do our check-in as per usual. So take a moment to check in with yourself, and I will check in with me. And yeah, just see how you're feeling. Today, I am feeling pretty good. Yesterday, I'm feeling pretty proud of myself, I guess. Yesterday, I had sort of one of those days where I have set like really high expectations for myself. I wanted to get like a bunch done, and I only got like half of it done. So I started like talking bad to myself, like distracting myself. And noticed the day starting to go downhill. And then towards the end of the day, I realized that I had started beating myself up in my head again because I didn't get the high expectation of things done that I wanted to. And at that moment, I kind of realized, I started thinking about like what we've been talking about here on the podcast of, stopping this cycle of negative thinking and negative treatment of ourselves. And I was going to get back to work, towards the end of the day. And I was like, you know what? No, not today. Like today you're going to go do something else. You're not going to start doing more work because you're going to try to be easy on yourself now. And if you start working, you're probably just going to be distracted again and not get much done. So let's just call it now. And that's what I did. And I woke up this morning really refreshed and started getting more ideas again and getting excited. And yeah, I was like proud of myself now that I'm, thinking about it. Proud of myself for being easy on myself and not repeating the negative self-talk cycle. And I have to thank this podcast for that because, if we didn't have those couple episodes back ago about like, nonviolence and being kind to ourselves and self-love, then I wouldn't have had that top of mind and I wouldn't have been able to make that choice and that decision. So yeah, feeling grateful for that. Also feeling a bit cold. It's getting cold out there. I got my Working Towards Our Purpose crew neck on today. You can go to workingtowardsourpurpose.com to get one for yourself. Got some different colors and yeah, feeling good otherwise. So yeah, let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is the one thing, like this one sort of secret thing that you can do to find what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, to keep working towards our purpose. It's always a topic of this episode. How do we get there? How do we get to purpose? And following our joy, I think, is one of the most important things that we can do, following what excites us, following something that like we're just really into. And I was reminded of this because a close friend recently was telling me, she's at this job that's like not her passion or something that she sees herself doing for a long time. And she knows that. And recently she just like found something that she's like excited about that she can do and work towards, and to just hear like the excitement in her voice and see it in her face, to just be like really excited about something. As there's like no other word than excited, I guess, but to see that and to be reminded like, yes, that's what following your joy looks like. Like who knows what that will lead to. Infinite possibilities, but the fact that you're excited about it is like what makes me happy. And so just seeing it kind of reminded me of that topic and gave me the idea for this episode today. So I want to talk a little bit about, I want to deconstruct this because I feel like, when people say follow your joy, it could be sort of just like something that somebody says or like something on like a motivational poster, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to be delved into a little bit more. So first I want to talk about like what joy is, what is following your joy. and then like why I think it's important, and then some places you can get started. So first, like what does following your joy mean? And again, like I saw it yesterday, so I'm trying to describe it with other than the word excitement, but like, have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and you like started, I don't know, like talking a little bit louder, getting up off your seat, like maybe it's a band or a musician that you just found, and you're telling your friend, you're like, oh, this person's awesome. Like I really love the way they play guitar. I love their voice. I love their falsetto, whatever. And you get really excited and into it. Like that's joy. Like that is an example of it. Like I remember one time I had a conversation with somebody and I was like speaking about something I was like passionate about, and they were like, man, you're really into this, huh? And I didn't realize like I had changed the way that I was talking. Like previously I was just like sort of mundane and like blah, blah, blah. But then I started talking about something I like, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is awesome. Like I love this band. Like I know all about this, his music career. And like that is joy. And that's what we're talking about today, and why like that's important to follow. So to further explain this, I have another story. I feel like I've been bringing up a lot of stories. Not that it's a negative thing, but yeah, just I guess feeling in a storytelling mood. But so back when I was in college, in undergrad, I was studying mechanical engineering, and it was a very rigorous course. If anybody's ever gone through engineering school, it's a lot of work, a lot of homework and all that. So I was very busy. Like each semester was pretty much full credits, tons of classes, tons of work projects. And in my going into my third year, I knew of this FSAE team that my college had, and FSAE is Formula SAE. It's basically a team of students and some advisors that build a race car and then go race it against other colleges in Michigan once a year. So for me, I always really liked racing. I always really liked working with my hands in high school. And now here I was in college, sort of, in the books and doing everything theoretically and doing tons of math. I was really having a craving for like working with my hands. And I went to this meeting with a buddy, and they were like, yeah, you're going to get to weld. We make this thing from scratch. Like we're in a shop off campus. Like we have all the tools. We TIG weld. So I was like really excited about it. And then they got to a point where they were like, this is for people who are serious, because you need to show up there every Saturday morning, like bright and early, and you need to be there every Saturday, and you need to be working there all day because it's a lot of work and there's not that many people on the team. So we need like committed people. And I went back from the meeting and I was on the phone with somebody like talking about it. And I remember being like worried that it was too much of a time commitment. And it was something that like I was really into and I wanted to do it. I was excited, but I was like, I'm here for a degree. Can I do both of these things? And I ended up just doing it. Not totally sure why, but I ended up joining the team, and every Saturday morning, bright and early. I actually don't remember how early it was because I get up like really early now, but it was probably something like 7:00. But for a college kid, that's like, 2 a.m. And I remember like at first it was a little rough, but like it was just so much fun. I like didn't even think twice. And like every Saturday, we'd get up, we'd go to the shop off campus. I'd get a ride because I didn't have a car. And yeah, it was just so fun. And I never ever like after joining thought about the time commitment piece of it, because it was this thing that gave me energy and I was going to find a way to make it work. And I think that's why it's really important to follow the joy, to follow like this feeling that we have, because you'll make it work. If you're that into it and you're that passionate about it, you're going to make it work. You're going to find time for it. My classes didn't suffer at all. In fact, I probably started doing better in my classes because I was more focused and I didn't waste as much time. And, I had to think about like what I was doing on Friday nights because I had this thing that I was into on Saturday mornings. So it really helped me out in college a lot, and made some great friends. Like we have some awesome memories of road tripping out to Michigan with the car and racing it. And yeah, I totally don't regret it at all. I would have regretted it if I didn't do it. So hopefully that kind of like explains this joy that I'm trying to convey, and this passionate's another great word. Like, when you're passionate about something, like when you truly care about it, like that's what we're talking about. That's the path we want to follow. And I know it can be easy to like think, well, this doesn't make any sense. Like this thing that I like, it's never going to make me money, whatever. Why even bother doing it? And I also want to talk about like why should we be following our joy? So just because something doesn't make you money doesn't mean that it's not beneficial to you. Music, perfect example for me. Music does not make me money. It may never make me money, and I'm okay with that because when I make music, it fills me up with energy so much that it benefits other areas of my life. So because of that, I prioritize making time for it at least some point during my week. I'll go write music, make music, work on music, play music. And I'm doing it because it's something that brings me joy and it makes me happy. And yeah, somehow it just has this like magic to benefit all the other areas of your life. And I think that's what following your joy does. So yeah, that's the number one reason I think that we should be following our joy, even if it doesn't make sense or we can't monetize it. Because you hear people all the time like monetize your hobby, turn it into a business. And I'm not against that, but I think the thing we have to be careful of is if we're thinking of the thing that brings us joy in a way that we should monetize and turn into a business, and then think, oh, I'm never going to be able to make money doing this, and then you never do it at all. Like that's not good. That's what we don't want. I think don't let it prevent you. Like if it turns into a source of income, great, but also do it if it never will, because it will lead you down paths that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. And yeah, it just gives you energy and gives you more reason to do the things that maybe you like don't really want to do. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think like, it's hard to say like what's going to make you happy, but like doing things that you're passionate about and make you joyful, certainly I believe make you happy. And I believe is our purpose, is part of our purpose. I think, we're always talking about purpose, working towards a purpose. I think that part of our purpose is doing things that like bring us joy. And that's what gives us the fuel to keep doing those things. This podcast, perfect example. I keep doing this because it's something that I really care about. And when somebody like says something to me and they're like, hey, that thing you said resonated with me and it inspired me to do this, or, even just like, they feel seen like that to me is like super, I really appreciate that and care about that. So that makes me to keep doing this podcast. Another thing, like why doing something that brings you joy is helpful and a good thing is we're not just talking about like thinking about the things that give us joy. We're talking about noticing what gives us joy and then taking action and doing something in that. So action always moves you forward, and just being able to do something for yourself can be crucially important. So, back in the time when I was working for corporate, I felt so out of control that I wasn't controlling the way that my life was going. So one of the things that I did was I started a side business, and at the time that gave me joy. And I was really into business techniques and like trying to get new clients and marketing and learning all this stuff. And that gave me a reason to like keep pushing through my days, even though I hated what I was doing for work. And I did that for like a year and a half before finally leaving. And sometimes like doing that thing that brings you joy is what can keep you going and to keep you from just giving up and like having no motivation and coming home and just sleeping and then going and doing the job, and in this cycle of like feeling so out of control. Like that's another reason why doing and following your joy can be so beneficial is it gives you that sense of control back. It's like you're deciding, you have the free will to choose what thing that you're into and to go do something with that thing. And that's just such a powerful thing. And yeah, it's when you have that excitement and that passion about it, you can go do that thing and you can give yourself the permission to do that thing. And it's like, you know, you get home and you're so excited about that thing. You don't even care like that you just spent your whole day in an office. You're like, I'm going to go work on this thing now because I'm here and I'm ready to do it. So yeah, following your joy is just such a impactful thing, I think. So, and then the last reason to like, to do something that, you know, sparks your joy is that you will attract like-minded people. When you talk passionately about something, you will make people who also like that thing notice you. For example, like, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but like, if you go to a concert, all of a sudden, like, everybody there is like sort of your friend because you're all passionate about this one band. And like, it's so easy to talk to people at concerts because it's like, oh, you like this band? Yeah, I love this band too. So you kind of already have like this, it's like you're in this little inner club, this, you have this thing in common that you're passionate about. So you both of you can talk for days on end about this thing, about this band, because it's something that you care about. So in the same theory of like, you know, maybe your thing is sewing or whatever, you know, you find somebody who also likes sewing, and when they see you talking passionately about sewing, it's like you're gonna attract them like strongly. And now you kind of like are able to build this network of people who can be supportive for this thing that you care about, that can then lead to more opportunities and potential down the road. It's just like, yeah, it's just beautiful when like you see somebody that's passionate about something. It's so magnetic. It's really important, I think. And yeah, so those are some reasons as to why. And then I did also want to talk about like where to start. Like maybe you feel overwhelmed and maybe like there's so many choices out there, you don't really know. First, I would say, you know, tune into your feelings, like see where you actually do get excited about something. But some like practical outlets, I did want to talk about Substack real quick because I've been using Substack, and if you're on there, you can follow me. But I think Substack's such a great social media platform because it's the opposite of the instant gratification of like Instagram and TikTok and all this short form video content. It's like there's hardly any video content on it. It's all like writing. It's mostly blogs and people writing about, you know, taking their time, long form content. And you go on there and it takes a minute to read these things. But like when you find somebody that's writing about something that you care about and you're passionate about, you're going to go read that thing. And it's been like a nice, wholesome place to be able to express ideas and thoughts and to find people who also resonate with that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think it's really, so, you know, what I'm saying is that if you're a writer, you know, but you think like, oh, I can't write a book, start on Substack. Like just go write some articles on Substack and make an account, just start publishing some stuff, start reading some other people's stuff, make connections. It's like a really great way to fuel and to keep pushing that thing that you're excited about. So really, really like that platform. YouTube's another one. Maybe if writing is not your thing, you know, you can make some videos if you're into like cinematography or maybe photography or music. Like you can do so much with YouTube, and I think it's a great platform because anybody can go and upload something and you've created something. You know, whatever it is that you're passionate about, you can synthesize that into something that people can watch. And even if you don't have a lot of people watching it, it's still cool that you went and made that thing. And you put, again, you're in action. You're passionate about something and you made something, you did something from that passion. So YouTube's a great outlet. You know, music, obviously for me, you don't even have to publish the music. You could just go make music, go write music, go play music with other people. Music's just such a powerful thing. And then another one that like I don't really have too much experience with is like joining a sports league. I feel like people who are passionate about sports, like, you know, it's one thing to like watch sports, but to go and play with other people, like that's action of the thing that you're joyful about and passionate about is going and playing a game. Like it's a totally different thing than just like, talking about it or doing like fantasy sports. So I think that that's really cool. And yeah, so to kind of like wrap up this episode, I think that, what I'm kind of thinking about here and what we're moving towards is like, it's not just following your joy, but it's also following your joy and then putting it into action is like the most important thing. So yeah, think about like, one thing that you're passionate about or you're really into or excited about, and like, how can you turn that into an action? I think that's the one takeaway from this episode is like, how do you turn the one thing that you really care about, that you're really into, and turn it into an action? Because that's how it becomes more real. So another thing I want to say too, there's no wrong choice. There's definitely no wrong choice. Doing anything is going to move you forward and move you closer to your purpose, to finding something that you're into and you care about that maybe can turn into, a job in the future, a business, who knows, a creativity outlet that you can get paid for. That's not important. We're not thinking about the finances right now. We're just thinking about starting something, because I think what I want to say is that the potential is endless and limitless. The potential of following this path is limitless. So you got to get started to see what's on the path. And I encourage you to go make an action towards that. And then lastly too, I always want to say, like, you can always change your mind. You can go do something that you're passionate about for a year. And if it doesn't bring you joy anymore, find the next thing that gives you joy. And that's okay. It's okay to change your mind. You don't have to like sign a contract and be like, I am passionate about music and will be for the rest of my life. You can totally be free to change your mind. And I know sometimes that's like looked down upon, but when you do things, you find out more information. And when you have more information, you can make better choices for yourself. So yeah, I think that's where I want to wrap up today. I do encourage you strongly to go out and find your joy and to put an action towards it. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube as always. I appreciate every one of you, and I will see you on another episode real soon. Thank you so much.